Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started with this one, trying to make sure that all the audio levels are A-okay, because OBS has been a bit funky. Why did the Duolingo bird just come up? Oh god, that's kind of weird. But we should be good here. Today has been an incredibly busy day, and I am trying my best to keep awake. It's going to be like that probably for another day or two as my head sorts itself out, because, funny. But we have another OFCRA mission here. I will do my best to keep awake for it, and I hope you all enjoy it. Op 4 is going to be Russian Armed Forces. Blue 4 is going to be Estonian Forces. Let's go ahead and put up a prediction here. If I can find the last OFCRA prediction we had. All right, Blue 4 is Estonia. Op 4 is Russia. Yeah, I still need to take a second to look into why the badges aren't displaying for the bit badges, because I know they have them as emotes, but I'm trying to get them to actually display properly as badges. It's probably a setting I have to hit somewhere to make them override the Twitch vanilla ones, but if anyone can Google that and shoot that link to me, that'd be great. That would save me some time. I've just been busy trying to catch up with Pog's mission file, because I'm a bit behind, because IRL is a little bit of a mess right now, but that should be situated and hopefully fixed up by the end of tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how things go. One day I will be free from all of that, but today ain't that day. I think we've seen FNF do a mission or two on this map, because I remember seeing a week or two mission on this island here. That might have been 2 weeks ago, actually. But that seems to have been carried out here. Otherwise, we have multiple positions here. It looks like we're going to see a lot of island hopping today. And let me go ahead and tab out. I will take a look at the objectives here to let you guys have some intel on what we're doing today. So, Blue 4 and Op 4 are going to be fighting over an observations base, which is right here. It's cached in. Oh, they even wrote it down on the map. That makes my life so much easier. Thank God. All right, so observation base cached in at the 50-minute mark. Whoever has control of this base by the 50-minute mark gains 3 points. Then we've got 3 70-minute mark areas here. So we have an MLRS island, 1 point per MLRS. NATO Comms Center, 3 points worth 70 at the 70-minute mark. And then an approximate crash site. So, let's see. We also have a harbor evac. That's at the end. That's 90 minutes, though. But whoever has control of that by the end of the game will gain those points. But otherwise, the RM70s. Where are the RM70s? I would assume, based off of what I'm reading here. Okay, so the RM70s are the MLRSs. It's basically Blue 4 trying to keep them alive, Op 4 trying to destroy them. For every Op 4, for everyone that's destroyed, Op 4 gains a point. For everyone that's saved by the 70-minute mark, Blue 4 gains a point. Then we have the NATO Comm Center. There is an interactive area here that Russians can go in and do something. So if Op 4 are able to get into the comm center and interact with a laptop by the 70-minute mark, they get 3 points. If Blue 4 are able to prevent that by the end of the 70-minute mark, they gain those 3 points. And then we have a crash site here. So Blue 4 trying to prevent Op 4 from getting a black box, which is located around here. If Op 4 are able to get it within the 70-minute mark, they gain 3 points. If Blue 4 are able to prevent it, they gain the 3 points. So Blue 4 are going to be forced to at least hold 2 of these objectives and then fall into the evacuation harbor. But we have a lot of stuff on islands, so the only one that has a connection here is this bridge. That's the NATO Comm Center, but there's a lot of places that Op 4 can swim over. I don't see a lot of Op 4 spawns on the water areas here, so that's making me think there might be a lack of boat play. We might just see more helicopter island hopping, but I guess anything is technically possible. So, with all of that, let's have to see how things play out. We'll look at players and who's specifically doing what when we actually push in to the mission itself, but There are a lot of opportunities here for both sides to do a lot. We'll just have to see how things go. Player count is sitting at about 132 on server at the moment, plus me is 133. But 132, that leaves about... What's 132 divided by 2? If I can do some quick math here. 70... No, 68 or something? 66? No, that would be 112, so 72, maybe? No. 68. I can't math right now. Maybe 66? Yeah, 66 is 132, yeah. So 66 on both sides, give or take. Probably a slight number advantage on Op4 because Blue 4 are technically the defenders here, and they always like to give the offensive team a bit more of an advantage. But if we were to go back into the menu here, we got 65 on Op4, 63 on Blue 4, which means we still have a few people trying to connect because we're only at 130 right now. So slight number advantage there, but it's not going to really do much if it's just 2 players. So equidistant here. We'll just have to see how things go. Otherwise, hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. This is our second planned stream today. We will have POG later tonight. I need to make some updates to some of the buy sheets here. I'm going to do some price slashing as well for Op4. Blue 4 now have Black Wasps, so this should be quite interesting to see what they try to spam deploy. So, c'est la vie. Might take a nap, fair. I know I've been meaning to do some dev streaming. I've been lacking on that because there's just been so much to do. But beyond that, I mean, we got Blue 4 spawning on an airfield right here, so that gives them an obvious method to push back and hold the comm center there, and then probably send the rest of the forces around to then hold the observation base. The second Blue 4 spawn point here at this... base right there. I mean, again, evac point, then sending forces down. Maybe we'll see them send a few guys to the crash site. I could very well see Blue 4 probably holding the observation base and then immediately trying to pull this force back to then hold the crash site and then hold the evacuation harbor. The force right here could probably hold the comm center and then find a way to get around to go on the evacuation point. This is one of those ops where they're trying to force the defenders to divide themselves too much. So if Op4 has the speed and the tenacity, they could just start bulldozing some of these areas. But there's a logistic mishap of we've got some areas in water. So how is Op4 going to get over there? It's going to force Op4 to pretty tightly divide themselves. Now, if there's boats... I'm going to be honest, this is going to be the hardest objective to fight with boats because Blue 4 could easily just have a squad, just, you know, one guy holding various areas here because this is a small island. So I don't really see Op4 going for this objective unless they go for some sort of Hail Mary, you know, land a parachute squad, air assault style, and take heavy casualties. I could see a boat landing or a helicopter landing somewhere up here to get to this objective, or they could just brute force it with vehicles on the southern bridge, but I would expect explosive traps and some other crazy stuff, or some crossing from over on this position because we have less than 100 meters of crossing point right there. This objective on the bottom right, I mean, we have another set of crossing points over on the bottom right as well. You can see some good landing zones over on the northern side. A little bit of waterway crossing right here as well. But, I mean, this could be shallow enough for them to walk across on a position like right here, for example. So, that's always a possibility. Oh, there we go. The shit I hear. But I would say we're probably going to see Op4 assault the comm center and the crash site, observation base, and then go for the harbor. I doubt Blue 4 will be going for defense on those MLRS areas. But let's go ahead and get started. I want to just quickly shout out who command is, but it looks like they're not labeled, so I might not know. We do have Parthius right here. They do have hats. And LR, so it might be Parthius leading Blue 4. Op 4 would be not with an RPK. Might be Depso leading for Op 4 because Depso usually does lead from Op 4. But scrolling out, we see Blue 4's 2 spawn points and Op 4's. So let's go ahead and cover what we've got. So Blue 4 playing as the Estonians today. Jesse, let me know when what day it is, and I will look into it by all means. Yes, I'd love to cover something like that. OFCRA versus FNF, those are pretty funny events. Anyway, Estonians, we've got two 113 M2s with up armor for the turrets. We have an up armored Humvee, two transport Humvees, and then two Hemet transports over here. Main weapon for Blue 4, we got some M4... Those might be 416s. Because of the camo, it's hard for me to know the exact AR platform that's built on it, but it's a 5.56 rifle, essentially. We got some 203s for some of the GLs. That is M240 Bravo there. We got some 249s as well. And some of the local chat's pretty interesting. We got some AT4s and we got some Carl Gustavs as well for some of the AT guys. So standard NATO kit here. What is interesting though is their armor is looks like it's the vanilla stuff, but it's reskinned. So that's interesting to see on this Blue 4 group. Looking at the other Blue 4 group, the base that's tucked away. We've got more Hemets, more Humvees, more 50 cal stuff. So another 50 cal 113 up armed, and then we got two 50 cal Humvees as well. Same weaponry from the looks of things.
So, okay.
Another 249er mini-me.
You are taking the 113.
So we hear Twig giving orders here.
Can I put us on a different?
But otherwise, I'm not seeing anything specialized beyond that. So let's go ahead and look at the Op4 spawners. So the closer Op4 spawn, this group probably going to be going for that 50-minute objective at the observation base. We have multiple... Okay, no. One BTR-80 Alpha. One BTR-80. So KPVT turret with that 14.5mm heavy machine gun. And then we got that 20mm autocannon on the 80 Alpha. Multiple transport trucks. They have a D30. Interesting. And then we're going to probably see AK-74s for these guys, RPG-26s, RPG-7s, all of that fun stuff, GP-25s, SVDs. We do see some pretty hefty body armor on them as well, and I see some gas transports on these guys as well. All right, not bad. Wondering for this northern base, what do they have? They have to have some sort of maybe transport helicopter. Yes, they do. So we have an Mi-8 tucked away here. Two more BTR-80 Alphas. And then two BTR-80s. Wow, okay, so these are basically going to be some amphibious assault vehicles to get on the islands. But they also have a helicopter if they want to utilize that as well. We do have a heli pilot here that's going to be Kremet. But Blue 4, we do see they do have some SVDs for some marksman rifles. We can see some RPG-7s in play as well. So Op4 having autocannons in a heli, that's going to give them some pretty powerful fire support to bring into these AOs. But let's look at the observation base. Looks like it's literally just this position right here, next to some forests, some far ridge lines. I mean, Op4, oh, they've got some pretty easy ways to get on top of this base. They got some longer ranged areas to position some 80 Alphas. I mean, that's going to be a very tough position to defend for Blue 4. Looking at the crash site here, we have an approximate area right there, but I guess it's anywhere on this island specifically. There it is. So assuming black box is somewhere around the crash site here, so if Op4 get on top of it, I'm going to assume they find it, because I'm not seeing any particular object tied to it. But I assume that is what they're going to be trying to defend nonetheless, so we'll see who gets their hands on that first. Comm center is going to be this building. Looks like the comms position is on top, so the interact is going to be on one of those. For Op4 to touch, but if they're unable to, then Blue 4 get those points. And then we've got the MLRS island for the RSs here. I don't think Blue 4 is allowed to use these, but these are just artillery. I mean, these are just rocket vehicles when you really want to break it down. So we've got one tucked away there, one over there, and then there's a third somewhere in here, possibly in a building or tucked away under a shed. But it'll be easier to kind of find once they actually start blowing up, you know what I mean? Because I can only easily see two. Ah, okay, the third one's tucked away back there. And then the final area, the extraction harbor, evacuation harbor, that's it. So a lot of extra Blue 4 vehicles here, including some additional 50 cal vehicles. You gotta remember though, those 50 cals can penetrate those BTR-80s and the 80 Alphas and take them out. So it looks like it is this zone specifically. I'm going to be honest, Blue 4 is going to be doing the most damage when they try to use bottlenecks here, but with those 80s and 80 alphas, Blue 4 is going to require constant patrols in order to stop any of those amphibious assaults. So, Op 4 have a lot of options on doing assaults here. Blue 4, I mean, if they get lucky, they can easily stop one of those assaults in their tracks, but there's just so much that could go wrong with some of these positions. But you do see where there's a little bit of fortifications here, where Blue 4 can try to make some bottlenecks, but will it be enough is the real question. This op, I'm going to be honest, can go either way. There's a lot of ways that Op 4 can do these objectives. There's a lot of battle plans Blue 4 can do to execute on defense. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I actually think the observation base is a bit of a trap. I would say, instead of holding it directly, this might be one of those rare objectives where you just want to put a force on the back and then maybe put a very small force in the objective itself, and once they take contact, then you pull in that rear force to assault Op 4 on the flanker rear to do a lot of damage. But even then, that's really risky to do and really hard to coordinate, even for OFCRA that generally have better comms in PvP ops. I don't know if this would be the one to do it. Honestly, Blue 4 might really just benefit from holding the MLRS island with like a squad's worth of guys, and then holding the comm center, and then holding the crash site, and then just pulling everything back to the evacuation harbor. If we break that down, that would be 9 points to Blue 4, and Op 4 would technically only be able to get 8, but that is extremely reliant on the MLRS position. Because if you've got 80 alphas driving around, an 80 alpha mag dumping the crew compartment here could cook the vehicle off. So if an 80 alpha gets into a good position to demo, I mean, that can put that plan immediately on its head. I would say maybe just camp it with an AT group or two and then just have everyone else try to hold the evacuation harbor, and in those final 20 minutes try to pull back what you can. But, I mean, for this position, it would just be cross and then swim. For this one, though, it would be another cross and then, or swim and then cross, but you're very limited by the bottlenecks here. Okay, so Blue 4, we do have some boats in play in the form of some RHIBs and some 50 cal ribs. That's all they get. Okay, no, there's a few more down here. Yeah, so Blue 4 are going to have to be really reliant on those boats, but those auto cannons that Op 4 has, I mean, that can really make or break this scenario for Blue 4. Looking over at Op 4, it looks like we have the helicopter immediately rushing south. Op 4 command is in the heli. And it looks like we have potentially a group of guys waiting here to get on that helicopter. We could see Op 4 potentially do some sort of rush play to grab some guys and immediately try to get on the MLRS island before the boats can deploy. But it's going to really be up to seeing where Blue 4 deploys their forces compared to Op 4. That'll help us shape what's going to happen in this scenario. But this could really go either way. I cannot stress that enough. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the betting odds evened out here, because there's some matches we cover where we clearly see who's going to be ahead of the other just based off of AO and perception. But here, while we do have some AOs that really suck for one side or the other to hold or attack, I mean, just the point spread alone is what's going to make this incredibly difficult. Depso commanding from the air. Looks like they're going to wave off and potentially just have everyone go into vehicles instead. I don't know, it's rare to see a transport helicopter make or break a scenario, but we did see that weeks ago in an OFCRA mission. This was on Fapovo. It was the top left of the map, and it literally was down to you could count the amount of players on one hand for both sides, and the only reason one side won was because they demoed all the transport vehicles and then flew off in a helicopter to do the final objective. And the other side, even though they had the number advantage, they didn't have any method to get to the final objective. So they just lost by default because the amount of points that were there tipped the scale for one side or the other. It's risky to fly this helicopter in, though, because Blue 4 does possess a lot of 50 cal capabilities here. So even though the range is pretty great, if Blue 4 gets a lucky strafe, it's over. So I find it interesting that we already see Blue 4 going guns up around this position. We see additional Blue 4 forces heading north. I think they're going to try to bottleneck and potentially piecemeal whatever Op 4 forces they can find. On a map like this, that's incredibly risky to do because Op 4 have multiple routes they can take. They do have one main MSR that they can be utilizing, but Blue 4 seems to be going for an SSR instead. And depending on how far they go, that's going to put them incredibly out of position to get the rest of the objectives here. But at the flip side, that also means there's going to be less Blue 4 in the zone for Op 4 to hit. So if Blue 4 are able to get some really good ambushes in, or get some really good trades, and then have a big amount of Blue 4 to come in as QRF.
We failed in our duty.
I did. I was like, I saw those runs. I saw those
I was
runs.
just checking my phone.
So Alpha 1-2, I think, hit the wave breaker here and just killed themselves. Did you guys just hit a wave breaker and kill yourselves?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, those are
Y'all.
wait,
Y'all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, that was that mission, guys.
Well, we'll see if they get respawned, but yeah, they didn't notice the wave breaker marked on the map, and they've all died. So Blue 4 are down a squad and an additional guy in Alpha 1-3. We'll see if NASA's nice enough to respawn them, but, that's unfortunate. Whether or not they get their vehicle back, I mean, right here, it means they can just walk up to this area over here, or just walk down and go to the observation base, but that was something. That was definitely something. So we got Blue 4. They're setting up a defensive position here. Looks like they're setting up a larger defensive grid around the comm center. So they're investing a lot of points into that. We have another squad that's developed around the MLRS island. They're just trying to set up maybe some AT groups around this. We see them digging some fortifications around these vehicles to try to prevent them from getting destroyed, or at least limit their attack, their target profile. That's the word I'm looking for. And then we have a lot of additional vehicles moving south. I think Blue 4 is going to try to find more bottlenecks around this area. Op 4, meanwhile, using that scouting helicopter to come around. And now it's just a wait and see. I mean, Blue 4, they had a pretty good ambush set up on the road right here, but now they're heading more inland, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I would say you probably want to set up your ambushes closer to the road. You got a few wrecked buildings you can utilize. They are marked on the map. It's a little tough to spot them, though, but that is doable. If they just go to the middle, they risk just missing any opportunity to actually get a proper... Ooh, excuse me, ambush in. This, though, we've got a 50 cal Vic being sent. We do have an Op 4 column here driving in. The question is this turn going to now cause them to miss all of these vehicles? They might still catch this BTR back here, but we had a really good opportunity for Blue 4 to do a nice opening ambush. No Op 4 armed vehicles on the front. That would have done a lot of damage. Is this an 80 Alpha? Because that's probably the one vehicle. It's got 8 people in it, but that is definitely the one vehicle that the Humvee does not want to run into point blank, because 3 rounds into the front of the Humvee and it's going to cook immediately. Beyond that, you got the Op 4 helicopter doing some rounds here and some patrols. They're trying to get some good scouting data. Hold up, now we got a 113 coming down. This could be devastating. I think they hear the 113 coming. $50 cal now engaging. AT hits the first vehicle. An absolutely devastating ambush here, even though it was impromptu. Second round going into the truck. OFCRA infantry do not have a good way to get out of here. Grenades cooking off right next to the only position of cover here, and this entire OFCRA group is getting absolutely cooked. Looks like the Blue 4 squad that armored themselves got revived. Blue 4 still taking a few casualties here. We have 3 dead. Twig has gone under the bridge. He's going to try to go up to them. 50 cal now driving up as well. We've got some far OFCRA dismounts here. Humvee is going to come around and potentially do some flanking action. BTR 80 going along the flank here. It's going to try to capitalize on a few kills. Blue 4, they looked like they were very on top of that assault, but in that close dismount they did, for the impromptu ambush, they did take some heavy casualties. Not as much as OFCRA. But the question is, can OFCRA potentially save some of the wounded right here? Skipper's going to try to find an angle on that 113. Gets the headshot. And now you've got the BTR-80 on the side here. It's firing at Pi here. He's pulling away. He's gotten 2 kills with a PSG-1, so that's the marksman rifle Blue 4 has compared to the SVD. Got more OFCRA now coming up. Grenade thrown on Skipper's position. It's not far enough. 113 is pulling back. And it looks like they just got a pick off on Pi there. Now we do have some Blue 4 that have dismounted, but we do have the 80 Alphas dismount also coming in. And they might hear that Humvee marauding around on the side. Twig finds Skipoo and gets the kill on him. Gouliat playing dead in the bodies here. 80 Alpha gets a double. That was potentially a triple kill, actually. Looks like it was a double because I know he got a kill previously, so that kills the entire crew of the 113 as they were trying to get out to sort everybody. And you got Maverick over here now playing dead. So that 80 coming around to give some support. Blue 4 calling in some reinforcements, but these guys are probably not going to make it in time. And you got this other force now staging on the north, but we do have Blue 4 starting to send forces over. Maybe they know something's coming. Maybe they were able to see, or maybe they're just now going to comb the area. Gouliat gets knocked as Twig runs up to finish him off. Maybe not, but he does have a second kill, which means he did get a double tap. So I think because Gouliat's hitbox is technically in this building right now, Twig is able to pass over his body, so he's able to see that he is still... Oh! Wait a minute! Gouliat wakes back up! And Twig gets him. Does take a single hit there. Quickly goes up to double tap and check. Now he's got a pretty good hiding spot in that building. Blue 4 now counterattacking off of the flank here, but they are outnumbered. So this attack is probably going to blow up in their face unless they're able to start dishing out some pretty hefty casualties. Raccoon gets taken out by Fair, though, so probably not going to be in Blue 4's favor here. The 80 is pulling back. The 80 Alpha's on Overwatch. Looks like Blue 4 dismounted even from the Humvee to bring forces up here. And I don't know if they were just able to get a kill. They did. Okay, so one more OFCRA gets taken out, but now we lose a Blue 4. Killer J trying to get something, but he gets knocked out. I don't know. It's only up to a handful of Blue 4 now to do stuff. Oddball taking fire. He gets knocked and double tapped as he falls over. So even though it was a great opening ambush for Blue 4, the amount of resources they've had to commit to try to capitalize on those gains further has not really bared any fruit. And OFCRA, I think, were able to edge out more casualties there than Blue 4. So looks like Blue 4 have now moved to take the road, but they've missed the vehicle crossings here. And now this group is going to be bypassed. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think it might actually just be up to Twig King to somehow kill all these players here, because every other Blue 4 element is killed. We do have a few guys in the back playing Overwatch, but Maverick, I mean, he's on 3, but that was mainly from a GL ambush. But now we have the, is that the 80 Alpha? No, the 80's completely repositioned, and now it is going to be suppressing Maverick and causing these Blue 4 to pull away. I think OFCRA are double tapping some bodies here, so we might see Nick T here come up and double tap Killer J. They're putting some rounds in the 113 to disable it, and that's fair because they already have their own transport. There's the double tap. Twig's going to be radioing the issue here. His group is pretty much wiped. We still have these 5 guys that can come along the flank, but they're going to be fighting an element that's 2 to 1 over them. And with 2 vehicles, we need to see if any of these guys have AT. Sam has AT. Okay, so that Carl Gustav could do some pretty hefty damage, take out both BTR-80s. But with a decent infantry screen, with an element to the left and right of the BTRs, it's going to be pretty tough to get that ambush in. But they are within about 500 meters. And we're just seeing, I think these 3 are going to resort to trying to hold these guys here so the ambush team can get close enough. Meanwhile, we have an 80 with 5 additional personnel coming around. Does Blue 4? Oh, Lolo has AT. That is going to dish a very nasty blow to OFCRA if he's able to line up that shot. No, no, no. Keep following it. Very risky to do that. And that instantly kills 2 of them. There's still 4 people knocked out. Sanguine runs out. So does A2. Got some grenades being thrown. Really good grenade by Sangu there. Only damages Wombat, though. Doesn't knock him out. I do not know why this vehicle broke away when the other ones were crossing over here. This is causing all of these guys to now turn around and wonder what happened to that element. Really, really silly for that vehicle just not to use the waterway. I don't know what the orders were there, but bad call, I would say. Twig is now trying to pull around to regroup with the force over here. The other 2 are now retreating. Looks like there is additional Blue 4 being deployed. They want to see if they can eliminate this OPFOR element entirely, but that is more resources being committed. But with that ambush on the northern side, that has helped even the scales just a bit more. So we're going to have 2 more firefights, one around here with this element and one with this element. And that is going to help determine who's going to win this fight. Blue 4, we still have a decent chunk of reserves on 3 objectives. OPFOR, I mean, they only have 1 group of reserves after this. So if OPFOR loses these next 2 fights, that might very well be GG. We see some long-range shots going on these 2 guys as they're still pulling away. Twig is now moving up to try to get with Jamera. I think they just saw each other. So Twig is trying to regroup and go for blood here. Really, we need to see Sam get in position here to dish out some heavy damage on these BTRs. They're close enough, though, that they might... I don't think they'll cook each other off. They'd have to be parallel to each other at this range. But it's going to definitely throw everyone through a door here. Kaiser on the side prone. Jamera, I think, is trying to walk his AT guy in, but that group is now getting ready. Okay, so these vehicles have actually overshot the infantry. Maybe they're going to go for the observation base instead. Meanwhile, we got some Blue 4 crowding around some of the bodies here. We still have an Uncon guy right there. Oh, no, he's up. Torna has left the vehicle and immediately goes Uncon. Wombat's going to come around, probably get an easy double tap on that body. Blue 4, meanwhile, starting to set up against that element there. And Wombat gets the kill, because if you're Uncon, you'll still burn, but if you're dead, your body won't burn anymore. Fun way to tell if people are still technically alive or not. We see an AT4 PHK trying to line up a 275-meter shot that is within the AT4's range. That would cook this vehicle. Turret's looking around, might spot one of these blue 4 elements and engage. Shot goes in. Looks like it was low. It hit the wheels. That's why we saw the vehicle jerk like that. Cuboid, in fact, immediately taken out by OFCRA with Cuboid double tapped. I don't think this blue 4 assault's going to go the way blue 4 wants it to, as we now see Lieutenant Dan knocked out, but Fact wakes back up. Another AT shot goes in, but this one takes out the BTR-80 Alpha. Definitely a more dangerous threat to eliminate there. Looking to the south, an update. Sam was able to take out the 80. The 80 Alpha is now turning around, trying to find an angle. The Humvee here was taken out, though. And Sam is now desperately trying to reposition. 80 Alpha is pulling away. But does anyone up here have AT? That's the real question. I don't think so. Which means they don't have a solution for that 80 Alpha. Well, it looks like the 80 Alpha doesn't realize where it is being engaged from just yet. Hey, Zelenius, welcome. So you have OFCRA turning around here. And we do see Sam with the vehicle kill there, so I'm surprised. I don't think any blue 4 have eyes on that vehicle to tell Sam he needs to reposition, but now we've got the OPFOR elements just kind of hunkering down, not really realizing where they're being engaged from. Looking back at the northern fight, still have an uncon body in that BTR, but looks like blue 4 pulled quite a bit of their forces back here. Trying to see the casualty list on these guys, but it looks like they've already disconnected, so blue 4... I think they're outnumbered by the sheer amount of elements OPFOR has up here, but we still have a third 80 Alpha and a regular 80 here, but we do see that some blue 4 are trying to get some licks in on OPFOR's forces here. The question is, can they find the angle? Looks like OPFOR might be now going for some amphibious landings here with their Mi-8. Realizing that they've been blocked on both sides, so maybe they're thinking things will be empty enough for them to potentially land forces. Looking back over here, it looks like more OPFOR have been taken out. Blue 4 sending in those reinforcements, and we even have 2 of the routers that have come back and rallied, and they're trying to now help with picking off whatever OPFOR still remain in this area. Fair wakes back up only to take a shot and a double tapping shot as well by Camred. PSG1 getting another kill. No shrimping, right? I think blue 4 is going to be able to pick off these 2 remaining OPFOR and then take that vehicle out. The northern fight is the questionable one, but also what we see with that helicopter. So we're seeing some blind spray by the vehicle, unless that was Sam. Nope, Sam is further back, but he does hear that vehicle shooting off, so he should know. And then we got all this infantry running around. It's a wait and see. Looks like 1 OPFOR infantry guys remaining. The 80 Alpha is going to route. It's got a long way to drive to reposition with anyone. Then we do have a second infantry group over here. This is for the D30. You know, realistically, the heli could call shots for the D30 to fire at the vehicles back here to see if they can get them with artillery, but you can see the amount of fortifications that they have built around this area. Really close to arming one of them as well. If something breathes on this Vic, it is quite possible it could auto-arma itself and even cook off because of that trench. So Twig survived that. Was able to pick up another few kills. Sam got a kill because of the vehicle cook-off. I'm hearing the D30 firing. See a little bit of blood. There's some spent shell casing. No, I don't see any spent. That's fine. But a little bit of blood, and I mean, that large explosion also tells you all you need to know. Based off the firing, they might actually be shooting up at the observation base, which Blue 4 have deployed 2 squads to hold on the outside. They're going to try to intercept any OP4 that come in, but, I mean, just look at the sheer amount of OP4 we have here. And then there's like 1 extra squad because you got 2 groups that have been nearly wiped, and then Blue 4, I mean, we go to Alpha there, they've got like 1 full additional group, and then 2 that have taken some casualties. Well, it looks like these guys are now going to pull away. And OP4, it looks like they are landing forces. Oh, did they break the rotor? They broke the rotor. They landed too close. And now Major Khan's going to pick off who he can with Tackleberry. So Tackleberry's got a 249. He's laying down the hate on these guys. Kremet, the only one that's knocked here. Depso staying low as a commander. Ariel trying to find a marksman solution on those 2 Blue 4 shooters. Looks like he has been unable to find any way to take them, though. We might see Blue 4 reposition, cross the bridge, and then help with the comm center here. And then you still got Jumshot running away from the Blue 4 elements that are now coming around for any survivors. So with that, I think the plan might have been after the D30 battery uses all of its shots for that group to then get picked up by the helicopter and flown in. But now that they don't have that opportunity, it's hard to say what might happen. I hear more rounds firing in the distance. It's a very loud weapon. We could also see Blue 4 try to hone in on it. That's why we see this Humvee driving out. But after that, I mean, OP4's last major infantry element is here. So we might just lose already for OP4 by casualties. That's going to be expedited by Major Khan or Tackleberry, though, if they're able to get more kills. Hey, righto, Penguin. It's always good to clean things up and keep yourself going forward. I thought we might have seen Ariel working on Kremet there, but Kremet's still bleeding out. We do have 1 OP4 KIA here. 1 vehicle's also driven ahead. I think that was the first vehicle to come in. Now this vehicle might try to push out as well. And then we do have some infantry that are staying on the far harbor. Grenade spam coming in. This is burning a lot of gear that this OP4 element does have, though. Tackle outside of the wire, trying to harass with some grenades, but just isn't close enough. And then Major Khan doing his best to also throw a bunch of stuff to harass, but this is just a stall play at this point. Though we do have Blue 4 sending a squad in a boat to come and reinforce, and these 2 Humvees are also coming around to reinforce. It's like this Blue 4 Humvee is coming up to this OP4 spawn point to see, or at least try to hone in on where that artillery is. Got more cannon fire here. I think they're going to burn the rest of their ordnance. Based off of where that gun is facing, I have to assume they're still trying to target the observation position here, which is why we don't see Blue 4 holding it specifically. They're on the outskirts, but it looks like the rounds have actually been missing the base and landing on the low side. Now you've got the 80 Alpha crew dismounted over here. They might be looking for a boat or something to take up there. It's hard to say, but we've got additional Blue 4 coming in because it looks like the squad has landed, but Rick Hunter is drowning. Penguin. Is that tender loving care? No, that's TLC. I got you. All right, yeah. All right. Go nuts, buddy. Major Khan's now camping this position right here. Gazog takes a single shot by Wojtek, and that grenade also might have helped injure him. AT Swola sneaks around. Gets magged up by Flesh, but he was able to take out the BTR-80 that was left behind. Weaker trades for Blue 4, but considering all the damage they've done, double tap right there on Gazog. I think that was Gazog. One of the Blue 4 guys. Now you got Major Khan kind of roof camping here to see if any Blue 4 will come up to him. Op4 sending the rest of those reinforcements in. And it looks like Op4 have now left this position, including the D30. And they are now taking gases to potentially head to the observation base. Blue 4, meanwhile, potentially leaving the observation base as well. You could see Op4 get a few points on that base if they're able to sneak by and Blue 4 doesn't realize there's nothing there. Wojtek gets knocked. He could have gotten shot off the building, or the grenades got him. We do have a 113 that's come around here. I think it's already been here, though. It's dismounted. Little bit of red on red here as Dream is taken out by Defaw. And we've got some Blue 4 now coming around. Multiple Op 4 bodies here. Ash with 1 kill. He has stolen that 113. Ruko's pulling back, maybe to pick up these 4 guys. Ash gets another knockout on Fast Sugar. Yeah, Dream getting friendly fire. I don't know if Dream started it, but that's unfortunate. The Flaw definitely ended it, but he could get medicked up. Major Khan finds Geralt and puts multiple rounds into his helmet, breaks it, and kills him. Is this a bit of blue on blue? Is Mike freaking out, or is that Eric freaking out? So we've got more Blue 4 basically reacting to where these forces are here. Grumman finds Dream, pulls him over to medic him. I think Major Khan got that knockout. Grenades being thrown. What is OPFOR doing right now? Major Khan trying to put some shots on that 113. OPFOR had a chance to do some pretty good momentum here, but they're kind of losing it. Ash is coming around to try to camp these bodies. Audrey Sip actually wakes back up. Roofy goes prone, realizes where Major Khan might have been. I think the Major is out of grenades at this point. .50 count out, blindly shooting at the building. That's Major Khan route here. Ash still coming around. Looking at the rest of the map, BTR-80, it looks like they either picked up that remaining guy or the Blue 4 guys found him. The Gazes are being ordered to come and assist on this objective. Major Khan is buying Blue for a lot of time. And buying Ash some time to cut around, but it looks like Defraw found him and started putting shots on him. Kremit now climbing. Oh, but they panic. Now Major Khan's going to come on the stairwell, potentially. Nope, Depso's covering. Grenades blindly thrown to the side. The mind games here are freaking nuts. Zerg wakes back up. Sound like a marksman shot. I think Ariel, even though he's got a friendly fire kill, he's spotted Major Khan. He's now trying to pick him off. So he aggressively pushes around. Ash has gone into the lower ground. 50 cal still panicking. Teamwork, folks. This shows me that it's multiple, like, segmented squads here that don't have comms with each other, and they're all kind of freaking out over the sheer amount of gunfire that's coming out. Ash is pulling away. I mean, Blue 4, they've received a massive amount of reinforcements right here. We have this other Gaz that can come in and reinforce them as well. I think this might be GG. But Major Khan here has pretty much stopped all of OPFOR's ability to move here, and he's still getting pickoffs. But this delay to OPFOR being able to blitz this objective, I think, is what's stopping the game. Deflaw finally finds him and takes him out. They climbed on top of each other to climb on that spot and get on the roof. Beautiful play by Deflaw, but let's see if OPFOR can now rally, because look at the sheer amount of Blue 4 defense that's right here. Ay, ay, ay. Still got Ash in the back right here. Maybe he can make a move on the 113. Tries to... Oh, actually manages to get T. Well, he's on radio. Because you can see the radio out in his hand. So we're still going to see this Blue 4 stall continuing. And OPFOR really doesn't have a lot left here. It looks like they're doing an amphibious crossing now. Maybe to get to the observation post from the north. But Blue 4 have the numbers to stop that. We have an 80 Alpha coming around as well. Well, look who's on point. So as soon as that BTR-80 comes up, it's dead. The AT is just going to blow it away. We got some far shots from the Blue 4 Garrison here engaging this 4-man OPFOR team. They're stuck. Even though we've got this big OPFOR group, I think Blue 4 has more forces right here. You got this additional group potentially going to come on the rear of that OPFOR element. 80 Alpha's cutting across. Sam, I think, just barely hears the engine, so he's trying to hone in on it. Now you got the 113 just blindly going ahead. Blue 4 know it's hostile, though. And it immediately takes a track hit, and Fonz is dead in the water. And now Fonz is also dead. Didn't Fonz already die, though? Okay. So I think he respawned glitch and actually spawned on his body. So I think he did that suicide charge just to die again, essentially. Yeah, the little jump it did. Now you got some long range shooting from over here. I'm going to be honest, that autocannon, if it can sight some Blue 4 and snipe them, would actually be pretty devastating. But now you got Blue 4 combing this area. Op 4 have dismounted the vehicle. They might head up on foot. The cash-in time is going to be in less than 10 minutes for this purple objective. Let's see if they can find angles. So I think they're trying to line up their marksman here to find additional Op 4 to pick off. I'm gonna be honest, though. I don't see how Op 4 can get to this crash site by the 70-minute mark. I don't see how Op 4 could win this objective, because even if they come under fire, there's a massive amount of Blue 4 that'll pull back.
Unexpected party when Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bagand announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11th birthday with a party of special magnificence. There was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton.
Yeah, well, thanks to the 78-month resub. I assume you like the op from earlier today for that one. Nonetheless, hope you keep enjoying the operations, both playing and watching. Hope you get a nice kick out of the stream. So, I think most of them are hiding out in the 80 Alpha, and the 80 Alpha is now trying to find an angle on them. But the fact that it's not opening up right now shows me that it's being a bit ineffective. Now you got the Gaz team that's dismounted. It's going to go hunt for those infantry. You got the 3-man team coming up. I'm going to be honest, I don't think they have comms with these guys, because otherwise they'd want to coordinate their assault here, because just by this 3-man team attacking is going to cause all this Blue 4 to immediately fold in. So that attack's going to fail. This attack, I mean, there's too many defenders here. I think this is GG. We're at the 41.5-minute mark, so we're not even halfway, but just the sheer amount of casualties Op 4's taken, I think have pretty much caused a GG here. I mean, Op 4, they're still licking their wounds and trying to get casualties up here. You got a few people trying to poke out, but Blue 4 just have the numbers. I think the only way we could see Op 4 still win is these guys take this objective, they bypass, they head to the crash site, they take those points, and they somehow hold the evacuation harbor by the 90-minute mark. Autocannon finally finds an angle. So Blue 4 sending Ash and Mike around to try to harass that group further. I'm curious, who here has AT? None on you, but you've stolen an RPK, which will confuse audio ID. Okay, Lolo has AT and 3 vehicle kills, so I'm questioning if he still has ammo, but if he's running around with the AT tube, that means he still probably has a shot, so they'll be able to ambush and eliminate that BTR. Now looking into here, Callie's slowly moving in. Looks like PZ here took some shots and is now dead. So this group is all, yep, so you got all these guys now folding, and we still have 6.5 minutes before this area is cashed in. Callie taking fire from Langfelder here, but he's able to fold back into cover. Some AT also on Callie here, so maybe if Blue 4 sends any vehicles down, they would get hit. But I'm going to be honest, this is probably like a 90% chance Blue 4, 10% chance OPFOR at this rate. And that's me being nice. Lizard. So you just have some harassment going here, but OPFOR don't want to commit their main force. That's giving Blue 4 time to push these guys down. Audrey-Sip had binos in hand and immediately gets sprayed. A marksman on OPFOR also gets taken out. The grenade double taps Audrey there. Ash and Mike doing this two-man assault here, and they're just whittling down more OPFOR elements here. OPFOR now doing a pretty large assault on the southern objective. This is going to be cashed in 5 minutes. OPFOR might actually have the manpower above Blue 4 here, but we'll have to see what still gets taken out here. But with Blue 4 bringing all these reinforcements back, that could change in a moment. Lolo honing in on the vehicle. He's bypassed the OPFOR defenders here. Still have some harassment on their rear here. Ash's battle buddy got taken out, but he's still there. AT fires on the vehicle, takes out the remaining 80 Alpha. Wombat combing. Will he look left and see these guys? He does. Kills an AI. Gag turns around. And Wombat gets a triple kill. It is only Ruku who is still alive, but he burns. Pilot also alive. He's burning. Settler still alive. Okay, he's the guy that ran off. But now it's a 4v2. Still got Ash holding that other side, looking back at this position. Twig coming along the rear of this element here. He's on 5 kills, gets his 6th. OPFOR getting defeated on this side as well. Brain. Twig just couldn't find the angle to hit Brain there. Callie gets knocked, Cheeseburger's knocked. Jump Shot moving in, his 2 battle buddies are down. Twig pulls away, trying to see if any OPFOR is going to follow him. Looks like he is aggressively trying to pull away, though. And I think it's GG now, 99.9% in Blue 4's favor. All avenues of OPFOR's attacks have pretty much been countered. Barrows gets knocked out by a marksman. Brain folding in. Take some shots from Heartseer potentially. Blind grenades being thrown around. Maybe a bit of friendly fire. Oh! Heartseer almost gets a blue on blue. Flame gets knocked, but then he realizes there's an OPFOR body back there. And you got Settler and Colm still up right here. Blue 4 might recomb that position. OPFOR still have a good chunk of elements right there, but they're outnumbered nearly 3-1. Brain trying to get a kill on Snip, but he is headshot knocked possibly by Flamer Seismo there. And that southern attack is over. Look at the sheer amount of people we have remaining on OPFOR, and look at all the Blue 4 players. Brain wakes back up. Twig finishes him for, I think, kill number 7. And Snip kills Twig, and Snip shoots Flam. What? Okay. Barrows wakes back up. Barrows sticks his head up just so it can be taken off by Weiss there. Please don't run Twig's body over. Oh, God. Maybe just heard some pistol shots double tap Barrows there, yep. Yeah, they couldn't let Twig get more kills, right? So they shot him. Flame also on 2. And that is the entirety of OPFOR wiped on that side. Meanwhile, it looks like this 4-man team recombed the area. They're all still alive. They're sending Wombat back to get the vehicle, I guess. Lolo on 16 points because 4 vehicle kills and 4 infantry kills. God damn. Masano got picked up 2 as well. We're just down to 8 people on the northern side for OPFOR. There's nothing else left here. I'm going to be honest, I loved this concept. Blue 4 just had some really good precise ambushes, and that's what kind of sealed the deal for OPFOR here. OPFOR down to 7. I think Depso's saying F it, and he's going to try to move up on his own. Because he, as command, doesn't have control of his guys anymore. Depso's going for noob tubes now, but he's got infantry coming up. I'm surprised he's not going to try to noob tube them. Instead goes with a grenade. It goes far, though. Now we got a close grenade that's probably going to blow up PHK. And it gets fact. So there's the 50-minute objective. Points on the board for Blue 4. And Blue 4 have so much manpower that they're actually trying to counterattack now. Ash might now try to be brave and come around on the northern side here. As we see OPFOR fragments into a 1-man, a 3-man, and another 3-man. There's a double tap. PHK wakes back up. PHK gets tapped again by Depso, and that's the final one. So Depso on 2. I just don't see how a 7-man can realistically get to multiple objectives and get the point tallies. AT goes up on this position. Gregory dodging 50 cal fire from that Humvee. Depso, I think, just found an angle and took the vehicle out. That knocks out Shay. Lieutenant Dan, best way for him to get off of the fire would be to run in the water, but he takes some double tap shots. Ash being incredibly cautious as he slowly moves up on this spot. And this Blue 4 counterattack has actually faltered pretty hard. I still think there's too many defenders for OPFOR to bounce back, even if they perfectly kill all the Blue 4 defense, but... I mean, good on OPFOR for at least weathering this. It was pure chaos on the OPFOR radio. I figured as much. Which is why, like, this position up here was such a mess for OPFOR. Oh, Depso takes some blind fire. He's now going to pull away. Cole doesn't find an angle on him, though. More AT coming on this building. Yeah, Depso doing the one-man army job because he can't get his army to do it. I gotta wonder what these guys are gonna do now because that objective's completed. AT round just completely whiffed there. Stepso trying to aggressively push here. Cole counters with that machine gun and is takes him out. 249, man. That Sugar also gets knocked by Arthiak as they overcommit to that push. OFCRA down to 5. Surprised we're not seeing Ash trying to counterattack from the north. Instead, I think he's just trying to call comms here. Maybe trying to find a rear angle on the marksmen that are on top of the building. People mistook the uniforms. We ran into the radar for 3 minutes, not knowing if enemy was still there. The funny thing was, there was still one guy on top of it, and he was just wreaking havoc on you guys. Because, again, the reports were accurate. It's just, you didn't realize that you also had friendly forces on top of that position. So it was just a mess. And now we see the wrap-up. Ariel getting flanked by Demovar and Rizbo taken out. Fleesh now trying to pull away, but also takes fire, and there's a headshot in there that takes him out. NASA doesn't get double tapped by the grenade, though. Now you got 2 more OFCRA players on this building. Gregory, who's been trying to provide rooftop support, and Sergius, who I think is just lost at this point. Orthy, yep, you're just in time to watch OFCRA get their last 2 guys smacked. If I have a mod in chat, can you pay it out to Blue 4? Because it's over. I don't know where those shots were going. Ash trying to put some shots on Gregory. Oh my gosh, Serg gets actually keyholed by Demovar Rizbo here. And Gregory taking shots from the rear by Ash. It is so Jover indeed. Anyway, guys, we will have OFCRA in 3.5 hours. I am going to cook myself some dinner and then dev up the rest of that mission. I'm sorry, POG in 3.5 hours. We're doing OFCRA right now. I'm so sorry, I just misspoke. Oh my god. I'm an idiot. My apologies. It's POG. So they're friendly wiggling their guys up here. Gregory is going to take a page out of Major Khan's book and just hide on the rooftop. Maybe he can cause Blue 4 to have a massive friendly fire incident. You never know. Yeah, rest of this is pretty much over. Did Blue 4 steal a BTR 80 Alpha? That's just insult to injury right there. Yeah, because that 3-man team did dismount it from NR to move in on foot on that objective. I can't tell if Gregory went prone there. Okay, I think he got shot and immediately legged, so he went prone again. How much op dev do I have backlogged? Too much. Way too much. You're just seeing a blind smoke push here now. Yeah, all of it, right? Rizbo gets on the roof. And Gregory gets him. Now will Demovar and NASA make it? Hold on. We might have a good strategy here. It's called all of Blue 4 runs up one at a time and gets murdered by Gregory. Wait. No, Gregory gets the kill on him too. Hold on. Hold on. Can Gregory channel his inner Audrey Hotto and still somehow win the match for Op4? Oh, there's so much infantry coming up to Gregory, though. Oh. The only ways up on this roof is a stairwell here, a stairwell there, though this stairwell you then have to climb onto the roof, and then to climb on from this area here. So we've got some grenades now being thrown around. As Gregory makes his last stand. I'm going to give it like 2 minutes and then we'll just call it by default because we're just going to watch Blue 4 run people up 1 or 2 at a time on the rooftop and get blown away, which is funny. Blue 4 literally sent everything except for one guy up here. I love how the ring, though, is going to protect Gregory here from shrapnel. 5 kills for Gregory! Now they're trying to get a grenade. Perfect. Oh, that might do it. There's so many notches, though, where the grenade can fall, though. And also, this texture slightly floating. Yeah, so it gets caught right there. Mr. White eats it. Manco immediately goes back down the stairs. He's like, I might not want to go up there on my own. Just look at all the bodies. This reminds me of like Call of Duty Nazis, not zombies, Call of Duty Infected, where you got that one guy at the end camping one spot and everyone else is just charging up to get him. Except this is still 1 life. Oh, Gregory's getting impatient. He either just got messaged by the admin or just told, wait, you might find Manco here. Oh, Delta taps him. And that's GG. All right, we'll be back in 3 hours, 15 minutes for Pog. I've got new stuff to put on that menu for you guys because funsies, and we got a fun new area to secure. Anyway, that is GG. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers, and have a good one.